on to the tape of the tape. We got your boy DEO HENDRIX in the blue corner taking on Entertainer in the red corner. Both of these boxers are fighting now. Entertainer coming in as a sub, so we got a room scale versus stationary battle. You already know room scale, depending on the size, has the advantage of being able to move more freely, move more faster, get out of the way. Stationary, however, uses less energy, right? They can stand with their feet planted firmly. They can get a lot more power. They never can be caught off angle, right? So DEO fighting out of an unknown region, Entertainer fighting by way of North America East. Both boxers, however, around the same height. Entertainer usually the smaller fighter in all of his matches, but DEO, the shortest, I believe one of the shortest fighters that we have, at 5'4", taking on Entertainer at 5'5". DEO, brand new to this game. Shout outs to DEO. He is our Dragon Fist tournament winner. He decided to take on VR boxing as a new game, jumped into the first match he had and absolutely got blown out of the water, said it was a completely different game, but has been trying to fight every day and learn how to play this game. So this time we're going to see how well DEO HENDRIX has evolved. He's coming in the unranked to 1500 range. He told me, hey Supa, I'm getting better. Entertainer 1501 to 2000 elo, a little bit of a veteran, been rocking with RIngsideVR since the beginning. So Entertainer making his way back into the ring right now. DEO affiliated with a gym, so after this we're going to ask DEO if he definitely wants to join a gym. Of course, Entertainer repping that BY boxing, and we're about to get on to this fight.
Seconds out.
Yeah, and it should be a good one. Honestly, like we say all the time, and we said it earlier tonight, ELOs don't make fights. It's all about styles. And I love when I know someone comes from another game, because you know they're bringing in some of that style. And they've got it, like a wealth of experience, but there's just like a little bit of a barrier, between it. And you can always, it's interesting to see if they can break through that and glean some, transfer some of that knowledge.
Oh, absolutely, man. And what's interesting, too, so like I said, DEO's coming from Dragon Fist VR. Shout-outs to Dragon Fist VR streams on Saturdays. And so, in this game, a lot of people see this and they're thinking, oh, it's going to be easy to play. But this game is very hard on how exactly it wants you to throw these fights. We're seeing a different DEO right out the gate, a little bit more measured, not running in. He has a lot of caution in the experience that he's gained, getting knocked out by these experienced VR boxers. Entertainer, though, showing some respect early on, testing the waters, trying to get that range, and we're seeing like a little bit of a southpaw versus orthodox style here, which is something we don't get to see very often in VR boxing.
And it's also good too, right, when two fighters actually stick to something like more standard in boxing, and you actually can see how this plays out. Because right now, the strategy is the same way that you would deal with this in a real boxing match, right? Get around the guard, get around the angles. You don't really have that like foot dominance or that the physical pressure of bumping up against each other, but it is something to realize, like you might be in for more clinches, for example.
Oh, 100%. And already now Entertainer showing that experience here, even though he's measuring up his opponent in DEO, showing a lot of respect. He has those combinations locked in. That's a big early tell of how this fight can go. DEO working the 1-2s. Entertainer saying, yeah, show some respect. Now, what's cool about Entertainer here, he's going to put DEO through the paces, but he's got those combinations, and right there, DEO has got a taste of really what Entertainer can bring to this fight.
Yeah, honestly, this is a great fight for DEO, all right? Even if he's not ahead in this match just yet, I do think he's grown a lot in every single one of his ringside appearances, right? And it just goes to show you put the time and effort into anything, practice, you will get better. But right now, Entertainer practicing on that jaw, a little bit of percussion right there.
Absolutely. And it's interesting, though, what I'm saying? This is what I like about this, is that we're going to be able to see what DEO has worked on, like a couple of things we've seen in the chat right now. DEO definitely is keeping his hands a bit low, and normally I would say, hey man, that's a dangerous place to be. But when you really think about it, right, a lot of boxing coaches have said when you're keeping your hands just below the chin, right, they're there protecting the body, and you can bring your hands up really quickly if you're good with hands, right? Shout out to Tay in the chat. Xylo with the roses. Appreciate it. Love the support, man. We're trying to keep the stream alive here. But, we're seeing Dio really stick to the 1-2s, going back to the basics, and this is what I like to see from a new fighter here in Thrill the Fight 2, right? You're not really working on big swings or wild hooks. He's now settling more into like trying to work boxing techniques, even if he's not the absolute stronger fighter, and that goes a long way.
I totally agree. So I have, after that first round, probably have Entertainer up ahead there.
Yeah.
But this definitely is still a match well within Dio's, Dio's range, right? We've seen him throw the kind of shots that get that high damage bar in this game, and that's something that is a little bit dangerous about the newer fighters, right? They haven't mastered the game yet, and so what for like someone like Yo Boy, it's a pretty reliable power punch, and you kind of know that that damage is coming. The newer fighters, they can it's almost like a random lottery ticket. And so like out of nowhere you get hit with a shot that just like hits everything perfectly and just puts you on the floor. Looks like we got a bit of a controller issue.
Dio, that controller, that's a dead giveaway in VR. VR games.
Okay.
As soon as that hand starts to stick out in the air, the ether, round number 2 underway, we already know that we've got some VR troubles. Could be a low battery, could be the controller's a little banged up, but right now, round number 2, Entertainer, a little bit of a sparring match here with Dio, going in for the feints. Dio trying to work some techniques. Dio still has a bit of a way to go in the game, but again, this is a low elo match, guys. We do let a lot of new people up in here. Ooh, Dio now firing back.
Low elo is a bit of an understatement, right? Both of these guys are over 1,500, so which I would consider, if you're playing this game as someone who's never played VR fighting, right? You pick up Thrill the Fight 2, you go into ranked a couple of times. 1,500 is probably where you're winning about half of your fights, maybe a little bit more. Boom! Entertainer finding the knockdown.
Yeah.
Giving another rude ringside welcome to Dio.
Yeah, no, Dio's been going through the school of hard knocks right now, and I love how generous you are with the ELO rankings. I just barely passed 1,500 the other day, and I'm buns. So like it's I like how Sally is giving me. I feel good. I feel good.
What would you say? Would you say you win about 50% of your fights, or are you a little bit better than that?
I know. I think your assessment is right. I think I've won about 50% of the fights. A little less, though, if I'm being really, truly honest with myself. But me and Dio are kind of in the same range where, and I have the same problem that Clint does where I can't find the power in the shots, right? Dio's just new to the game. And what I really want to do is I want to, like, really work with Dio. And I think I'm going to be doing that a little bit this week. Entertainer on froze.
Entertainer, no.
Entertainer on froze. Oh.